just beat the new Indigo Disc DLC using only new shiny Pokemon added in the Blueberry Academy Pokedex. This means that I couldn't use any shinies that had previously been in the game or were in the Kitakami Pokedex, such as, Slackoth, Deerling, etc. So I really couldn't move on and actually start the DLC until we at least got one shiny. The plan from the beginning was to get one shiny out of each area to start before we start kind of moving on into the DLC storyline a little bit. But that changed immediately when we had an unskippable battle right in the beginning. Now, I'm not surprised that this happened. It happened last time in the first DLC as well, so we decided to just brush that off and start shiny hunting immediately after this battle. The first shiny took quite a long time to get, but we wound up getting a shiny Flygon, and with less than 10 seconds left on the sandwich. Shiny? No way! No way, that's a shiny Flygon! We were using a Dragon Sandwich because we figured we'd get a Vibrava, but we were hoping for a Flygon, but we never thought we would actually get one. Getting something fully evolved was actually going to be very useful for the rest of the challenge, because I knew that when I found my second shiny, Flygon was going to be able to tank a couple hits, so I had time to actually catch it. Not long after the Flygon, we started shiny hunting for our second Pokemon. The second Pokemon we got was Horsea. Now, I ended up getting lucky and getting a Horsea Outbreak as one of my daily outbreaks, which was impressive since most of them are Milcery right now. But the funny thing is the Horsea we got didn't come from the Outbreak. While we were running away to reset the Pokemon, we actually found a shiny Horsea just out in the wild. That's a shiny, isn't it? Okay, so that's a shiny Horsea, which we wanted. But you know where I expected to get that? Right there. Because there's a Horsea Outbreak that I've been kind of resetting the spawns for. So as you can imagine, we caught that immediately and basically immediately evolved it all the way up into Kingdra, which looks absolutely beautiful. Now our third shiny is a little unfortunate. We actually wound up finding a shiny Slackoth. Now like I mentioned, the Pokemon we use have to be new, so we couldn't actually use this. But luckily this didn't happen to us too many times, but I knew it would happen at least once or twice. After the Slackoth incident, we decided to move up into the snowy area and hunt the new Pokemon, Archaladon, which means we had to get a shiny Duraludon. Not the easiest shiny to see, but it's a really cool one at least. Duraludon is a really cool Pokemon, and I really wanted to use the new one just like I used the new Applin evolution in the first DLC. Whoops. Wait a minute, that's a shiny! Shiny Duraludon! Finally! I knew we would get one. Oh, and the little fingers are like a light blue, too. I decided not to use Applin because I didn't really want to hunt another Applin. Once we got shiny Duraludon, it would be a while before we can actually evolve it because since we haven't moved on in the storyline, we don't actually have access to buying items using the battle points. But we will evolve it later on down the line. Now we wanted to get one more shiny before we actually moved on and started a little bit of the storyline of the DLC, and that last shiny ended up being Esper. Okay, only 13 minutes left. We're over halfway there. What is this, den here? What is that? That's a shiny. Never mind. Shiny Esper. That was nice and fast. Level 1 sandwich only took one, which we would very quickly evolve into Meowstic. Now with 4 Pokemon, we were actually able to start the DLC, and the first thing we had to do is battle Carmen, who we finally get to see again after not seeing her since we left Kitakami. It was around this point that we also got to see Kieran for the first time, who has changed quite a lot, and we also got to meet the Elite Four. It was at this point in the DLC where you actually learned that you need to beat the Elite Four and then take on Kieran, who is now champion, and that's what we're going to do, but before we do that, we want to make sure that we finish out our team, because these are going to be some strong trainers. But before we start our next hunt, what we got to do first is evolve Duraludon into Archaladon, who looks quite a lot like a staple remover. Archaladon is a really cool Pokemon, and I'm really glad we were able to use it since it's new to the entire game for this part of the DLC. Now we started our 5th shiny hunt going for a Pokemon that we were going for earlier when we got the Slackoth, and that is Blossom. Shiny. Shiny Blossom. Nice. Member number 5. We are literally only missing 1 before we can go and do all the Elite Four stuff. 1 singular Pokemon is needed. When we were going for it before, we were going for Oddish and Gloom because I hadn't known yet that you could just hunt Blossom on the beach using a grass-type sandwich. It didn't take us very long, and we got shiny Blossom pretty quickly. And now for the second bit of unfortunate news, we wound up finding a shiny Geodude, an Alolan Geodude of course. Now, it's at this point we could just go and do the DLC and use Geodude, but I already had it set in my mind that I really wanted to hunt the fossil Pokemon for my version, which was Shieldon. So we didn't end up using the Geodude, and we wanted to go and grab our last Pokemon, and I was scared about how long it was going to take because we had just found the Geodude. But luckily, it didn't actually take that long. It took one singular sandwich. Wait a minute, that's a shiny. Aha! Shiny Shieldon. That was nice and easy. Wow, that was like, what, 5 minutes in the sandwich? Let's see, literally 5 minutes. I can't believe I spotted it as well as I did because it's actually really hard to see in this game. And of course, as soon as we caught it, we used some candies to get it up to par with the rest of our team and evolve it into Bastiodon immediately. Now that we have our full team of 6 shinies, we can actually start taking on the Elite Four, which was a challenge. Now, we started with Lacey, the Fairy-type specialist, and we totally did not lose that battle 4 times. That was an annoyingly difficult battle, but in the end, we did beat it. Up next, we decided to take on Crispin, the Fire-type trainer. Now, we didn't have too many problems with Crispin, only because we used some cheesy strategies using Bastiodon's Sturdy ability and healing items on our second Pokemon in battle. I felt kind of bad about using healing items, but at the same time I didn't because these teams felt competitively stacked with competitive items and movesets, and it was very sad and frustrating to work with. So I allowed myself some potions, okay? The third member we took on was Amarys. Or Amarys? Amarys, I'm gonna call her that. Who was actually not too terrible to deal with. I thought she would be a lot harder because she's a Steel-type specialist, but we got through her pretty quickly without too many bumps in the road. The last person we decided to take on was Drayden because, you know, he was with us and cheering us on the whole time. I just thought we'd just save him for last, okay? Now, we did lose this battle once because I had no idea what to expect going in this battle, but the second time around, it was not actually too terrible. But now that we've beaten the Elite Four, we finally get to take on the champion, Kieran. I was nervous for this battle because I was like, oh, you know, the Elite Four was so hard. Kieran's gonna be, like, insane at this point. And that's not how it turned out to be at all. He was actually the easiest battle we did throughout the entire DLC. Now that we've become champion, there's a little bit left that we have to do, and we are going to get invited to go into Area 0 by Mrs. Briar. Now, we end up going down here with Mrs. Briar, Kieran, and Carmen, which was really cool. They had never been down here, it looks really good, you love the music, and the extra parts we get to go in now actually look beautiful. It took us quite a while to get down to the bottom and figure things out because it was very new, you have to deal with the new Terra type and everything, but eventually we did get down there and we found Terrapagos, who Kieran immediately snatched with his Master Ball. He decided to challenge us with his Terrapagos, and he pretty much lost instantly because he did not use a Terra. Kieran then terastallized Terrapagos, who then attacked us all, and then we had to kind of work together to defeat it, which was a pretty tough battle. I lost the first time, but that was mainly because I had half a team left after dealing with Kieran, because you don't get a chance to heal in between the two fights. But we did manage to defeat Terrapagos, and then we got to catch it in a ball of our choice, which was really cool. It was at this point that we've effectively beaten the main part of the DLC. I am currently in the process of kind of doing all the other small stuff, completing the Pokedex, dealing with Perrin, which is how you get the legendaries, but the main DLC storyline is now over. And we did it with only using shiny Pokemon that were introduced in this Pokedex. This challenge was a lot of fun. A lot of the Pokemon that we got a chance to use are really cool, they have really nice shinies, and the storyline was also really good. So that is all I have for you for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know down in the comments below if you guys have the DLC and how you guys are enjoying it. Also, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you're new, and I'll catch all of you guys in the next video. Peace!